No, we need Turkey Dano and we need a trio cast of Turkey Dano, Chicken Man, and Starduck.
That's gonna be disastrous.
But we are surprisingly going to be kicking off our best of 5 semifinals here on Beckett Industries. The map was not, in fact, vetoed. Here in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player coming down for the land of South Korea. He has made a name for himself as the brightest of the pro gamers. He is going to be representing KZ Gaming. KZG! He is coming down from the land of the Koreas. I'm trying to buy you as much time as possible.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I noticed.
He is going to be
right, let's go.
The Zerg player. He is Sola.
Look at that. Look at how professional Yaku is. He knew what I was doing, and he's like, yo, I gotta drag this one out. And he didn't drag it out with substance. He just slowed down his voice. He didn't add anything to it. He just slowed down.
He just spoke slower, yeah. All about the pacing.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Beckett Industries LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is blue, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming. DPG, looking to avenge his fallen comrade Cure. It is Zest. And massive shout out to Arch Skater, there we go. Arch Skater in the chat for reminding me to place the predictions. You have 2 minutes. I apologize for not being longer, but again, the series already started. I'm not going to give you 5 minutes because that's going to give you a bit of an advantage. So 2 minutes to place your bets. That is it. That is all you get. Please remind me for the next series.
We're probably gonna forget, aren't we?
We're probably, yeah, probably. Oh god.
But yeah, very surprising to see Beckett Industries not vetoed, but I suppose it does make sense that if it can't be vetoed, may as well have it first. I'd like to imagine this was Zest's pick.
Yeah, I would imagine so as well. I'm really curious as to what got vetoed then. Whether Romanticide was vetoed, potentially. Maybe Blackburn was vetoed as well, which is more of maybe a Zerg favorite map, especially for the Queen pushes. I love that this is game one. This is great. This is beautiful.
Yeah, already, but neither player really taking advantage of the short rushes inside this map or the speed zones. I say that though, as Solar is most likely building up for a Queen push.
I mean, I would imagine. Again, we haven't seen Solar in a while, so we'll see if that's what he does. Or, you know, in the past, we've seen Hydra timings, we've seen Viper timings, where you get Hydras and Vipers from other pro players. So I'm really curious to see what Solar has in store for us and what Zest has in store for us. Because in the past, he would go double Stargate Void Ray every single game, whenever he could. But now in Beckett Industries, it would be really risky to do so.
Absolutely will. Sure, he's going to be able to get the Void Rays to the other side of the map a little bit quicker, but so will Solar.
Yeah, Solar, he could just go for a straight up Link Flood across the map while your Void Rays are out of position. So yeah, we'll see what he has in store for us. He is going for the Oracle first, which has risen in popularity in Korea. Oh my god, a second one.
Is he going to get a third? Maybe.
It's possible.
Very much is. We haven't seen a lot of double Oracle plays coming out from the sort of Asia server, whether it be from Korean players or Taiwanese players. But we'll see what Zest's spin on this is going to be. Already getting some very key damage done.
Exactly. I don't think Solar was really expecting this. He did not see the Stargate opening. I'm sure even if he did, he would have assumed a Void Ray was coming out. So the Oracle really catching him off guard, really catching him off guard there, getting a lot of damage. Now there are two.
Yeah. So one-shotting the drones is going to be a lot easier on him. Two Queens are here though, but one of these Oracles is very healthy. Looking very healthy.
Exactly, and oh my god, the drones, they just keep going down. And we were talking about double Stargate Void Ray. Well, I mean, he opens up with two Oracles and then goes for the double Stargate straight into Fleet Beacon.
You'll love to see it, like.
I don't know if I do.
Is one to go for the Tempest, or is he just gonna do the standard thing of going for carriers?
We have seen Zest go for Tempest in the past, Fast Tempest, and just die horribly. Same thing happened to Parting.
Never worked out for him. Never worked out for any of them.
Yeah, I just haven't seen it happen. I'm sure it happens on the ladder. Regardless, he's waiting. He's not going for Void Race. It's either going to be Carriers or those Tempests.
Yeah, if he was going to get Flux Veins, it is way too late to start pumping out Void Race.
Meanwhile, Adepts do shade in. They do not commit to the shade. Solar still kind of on the back foot, but he's making a lot of roaches right now. Meanwhile, Zest, that Fleet Beacon is done. What are you going for?
Curious, all right. He hasn't completely lost his mind.
I love this. Beautiful, you know. Finally, the Korean server has kind of, you know, taken a look at Latin America. And it's like, you know what? Parker Mike, he knows what he's doing. He's good. He is the best Protoss in Latin America, so Zest is following suit. But here comes that queen push you were alluding to. Makes a lot of sense, especially on Beckett Industries with these speed zones.
Gonna hit a lot harder. Now, Solar is running out of money a little bit. He's been taking a lot of drone losses so far, so this really needs to do a ton of damage. The carriers aren't out quite yet. And even if they do come out, I mean, it takes a little while for Interceptors to build.
That it does. Meanwhile, so far, Zest is doing a really good job at holding on two bases. We do have a massive amount of shield batteries on the way. Overcharge is being used to keep the shield battery alive. Oh my god.
Surprisingly, yeah. Solar's trying to go for the biles over there, but it's not quite landing. Finally, it goes down, but it wasn't the overcharged battery. A lot more shield batteries coming up over here for Zest. The Interceptors are here, and they are targeting down the high energy queens.
That they
Solar
are.
needs these transfuses more than anything.
He's trying to keep the queen alive, and it looks like he just barely will. The carriers are still wreaking havoc, but you know what? Solar is pushing into the natural base, and there are a bunch of shield batteries, sure, but they aren't really in the best position.
Yeah, they are very far in the north, but Zest is being pushed out south. Oracles do come back home, and they will clean out the Lings for now, and it is just enough. GG. Zest takes game number 1.
Yeah,
he couldn't have been able to do that if he made Tempest. Just saying.
It's true. It's
Just
true.
saying.
Really well done there by Zest. Solid defense. I was concerned. I should have clicked on them. I was concerned that there were a bunch of shield batteries to the north. They were cannons instead, and they were helping. Yeah, they were helping so much more when they did finish up. And yeah, Solar, he just couldn't break into the natural
at all.
And mate, if you can't break into the natural base of Beckett Industries, where they don't have that high ground advantage or anything like that, and you hit at the fastest time possible, things don't bode well. At least for queen pushes. At least for queen pushes.
Exactly, unless Soul decides to go for Niduses.
True. Can
watch at Descent.
Can go for that.
Descent to the dark side.
Can go for those Warsaw subways, if you will, or maybe the Italian Vespa, which has very much fallen out of fashion. What I would like to see, especially on a map like Jagannatha, there are a couple of options, but I've seen some Hydras timings work. Hydras with like you get like 1 or 2 Vipers out, depending on what your opponent goes for. To be fair.
Yeah, I feel like you're speaking specifically about me, Micah, there, but there are a lot of players who do that. In the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha KBBLE, we have the red Zerg player coming out from the land of South Korea. He is representing KZ Gaming. KZG, the brightest of the pro gamers, he is Solar.
And
rotating
spawning
around the earth.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is blue, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming. The PG, it is Zest. Holding beautifully with his 2 carriers.
Now he may have 3, depending on how he plays this out. Zest is usually the type of player who will do the same thing every game until his opponent's able to react accordingly. But I don't know, maybe he's being a little bit more diverse today. Maybe he wants to do a bunch of different stuff to keep his opponents on their toes.
Yeah, historically, Zest has been a little bit maybe you could say stubborn in that way. It depends how you like look at it, you know, whether it's stubborn or whether it's like, you know, hey,
pragmatic.
yeah, like, you know, I have this one build, I'm just gonna keep doing it until you beat it, you know, like I didn't even care, mate. And I'm a little bit worried because Jagannatha is a bit of a better map for Skytoss. Again, you can maneuver around the bases quite freely. It's very vertical as well. You don't have to, like, it's a lot easier to expand and defend your bases because it's not so wide. So I'm a little bit concerned for Solar. Obviously you can go for another queen push on this map, but I'm concerned.
Get a bit of an update here, like, despite Dark versus Solar game number 2 starting a lot quicker, Beckett Industries, Zest versus Solar, ended a lot faster.
Oh yeah, mate, we're catching up.
Yeah, now we're both in game number 2. How do you like them potatoes? Parting?
Yeah, parting. Dark.
I don't know why we're targeting parting here.
I don't know either, mate. Meanwhile, yo, despite all of what we were saying, Zest is not opening up with a Stargate. He is opening up with a Twilight Council.
Okay. So really keeping Solar on his toes over here. I suppose it's a pretty good follow-up to being able to force that natural base being taken in that back third location. It's very awkward for the Zerg player to really defend against something like Adepts. If he even goes for Galactic Adepts, you know? I'm just saying, early charge shot rushes have been utilized a lot more recently.
It should be Adepts. I say should because he's still mining from both of his gases pretty freely. There's no forge, so I can't imagine it's going to be Blink Stalkers, and there it is. It is going to be the Adepts. The other thing that it could have been would have been maybe DTs, but yeah, this is worrisome. Solar needs to scout this. He needs to see what's going on.
I said Zergling in location, but he needs a little bit more than that. If only Lynx could fly.
If only. To be fair, at a certain point, around now, to be honest, if there isn't a Oracle coming out or a Void Ray coming out, you can kind of cross off Stargate. It's like, okay, you know, there's nothing in the air, obviously, otherwise it would be harassing me right now. But whether it's a Charge All-In, as you were saying, or whether it's Glaive Adepts, or whether it's Blink Stalkers, like, you do need to kind of get in a little bit to confirm.
Yeah, you definitely do, especially because Zest is doing the much more dedicated version of this Glaive Adept build. Not warping in at home and then shading them across the map. He's going straight for that warpism. All right, so nice scout.
He did. The Link did get into the main base. He did see that there were no guesses at the natural, so he does get an inkling. I think. Okay, he sees the warpism.
Yeah, he sees the warpism. He sees the Adepts being warped in back at home. He knows exactly what's coming his way, but only now starting to get the Roach Warren. Is it going to be too late?
It feels very late, to be honest. The creep, the bases aren't even connected. We have a spine being thrown down, which he needs because he doesn't have any roaches. This is looking terrifying right now. We'll see how well Zest can trade against the Lings and Queens of Solar.
As he continues to warp in and warp in and warp in. He's going for a bit of multi-prog over here, being very threatening with his shades, taking out isolated Queens left and right. Does come into shade over here, right on top of the ramp. Oh, good call with Spore Crawl here from Solar.
Nicely done. He
prevents another warp in.
Exactly. He zones away the Warp Prism with this Spore. Meanwhile, the majority of the Links have been dealt with, and here comes that Warp Prism.
The rest of the Adepts, now Roaches are starting to come out right now. And the Adept count is sitting out quite a bit. That's not quite getting the damage he needs to get done just yet.
Definitely, right? As we can see, like Solar's economy is still perfectly fine. He lost what, 3 drones? That's honestly not that bad. And Solar kept the majority of his queens alive. I think he only lost 1, if that. And Zest, oh, desperate, goes for a Dark Shrine. Oh
no. There are already Spore Calls up here for Solar. They are a very static form of defense. He only has 1.
Only 1 so far, so maybe the DTs can do something. The problem is that this transition is a little bit late, and it's also in the natural, so it could even be scouted if Solar does dip in. Like, this is worrisome, and Solar knows he's getting another Spore. He knows, like, just in case. Gotta get ready for the DTs.
Yeah, this is such an awkward transition coming out from Zest.
Oh boy. I mean, thankfully Zest is going for a 3rd base, right? He's not staying on 2 bases by any means. He should be fine against this Ling run by. He's got plenty of Adepts to defend both of his bases.
Just needs to make
Again,
sure he doesn't get surrounded.
yeah. We'll see if the DTs can pay for themselves.
That we shall. He's trying to find an opportunity to start warping in here. 4 DTs already coming down. Will he immediately morph them into Archons? Not quite yet.
We'll see. I mean, he's gonna try to get damage done with the DTs first and then morph them into Archons if they don't. Meanwhile, we see a bit of a link run by, yo, the Adepts are not here. They all went across the map. Oh no.
Exact perfect timing here for Solar. Zest, he does not care. He is not turning around at all.
Oh god.
Have to cancel that base eventually.
Yeah, oh my god, the DTs, like, so far there isn't a section here towards the north side of the map, so maybe you can find some damage. Meanwhile, yo, the Adepts, they go back home! And that was a kill!
But it's already too late, the Nexus was killed!
Oh my god, I thought he was gonna cancel it!
Ay, Zest. Being a little too indecisive here in every action. Nothing has got his way so far.
Yeah, exactly. I apologize. I wasn't focusing the camera on this just because I thought it would just cancel it. And I thought Zest would commit to the Adept harass, but he just went back home and...
I looked at the minimap and there wasn't a whole blob of blue on Solar side. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was confused because I knew they didn't die, and just like that, Solar, he defends beautifully here. Everything, he counterattacks. Now Zest, he's stuck on 2 bases. I kind of want to say he's all in, but he's trying to get a third up again, which, to be fair, at least Solar is busy at home, but...
Yeah, Solar has been on 3 bases for a long time, and that's the last thing you want to happen to you as a Zerg player. Does commit to the shade here, Zest does. And it's looking pretty powerful. But the surround coming out from Solar.
Yeah, massive surround. The Queens are coming in. The Queens are trying to focus on the Warp Prism. The Warp Prism does finish its warping of Adepts.
Can it get out of there? Whoa. Not quite. Range of the Queens really the MVP, and Zest has 0 staying power in this attack or in this game.
Oh god, exactly. He is getting some worker kills, which is honestly pretty important. Oh, all these roaches. Okay, Solar does split them up, and it's going to be difficult for these Adepts to really find any more damage.
But they find a little bit of it, nonetheless. GG's called in the end. Solar takes game number 2.
Oh, GG. Solar tying up the series.
And now I just imagine that this has to prompt Zest to think, alright, let's not go for Twilight Council openings again.
Yeah, it was a disaster, mate.
Stargate or bust. Let's go.
Honestly, the initial, like, Adept harass wasn't the worst. But the problem is that, like, there was no follow-up. There was nothing. Like, usually you see, like, an Immortal in production, or, you know, a Robotic Spades get into Disruptors, or even a third base behind it. Like, the reaction, like, when Zest realized, oh my god, this isn't working, it was, like, too late. And then he threw down the Dark Shrine. It's like, mate, what do you really plan to accomplish with this? GG.
It's not about accomplishing anything. It's about sending a message.
He sent a message, all right. Oh, and Blackburn was not vetoed.
Carriers are good, and yeah, apparently, surprisingly not. So we have both new maps coming in here. I still want to say Romanticide has got to be vetoed, right? By Solar,
it has to be. It has
we'll
to
find
be.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out eventually as we continue our series on Blackburn LE. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the red Zerg player coming down from the land of South Korea. He is representing KaiZ Gaming, KCG. He is Solar.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, or top right. What? We have the South Korean, the top bottom, the South Korean Protoss player. He is representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. It is Zest.
The left-right location.
Yeah, the left-right. Yeah. Top bottom, the top left, bottom right.
Yeah, the diagonal vertical.
The nautical cardinal.
The extraterrestrial terrestrial.
The alpha zeta.
The Sparta.
Anyway, we have some pretty standard openings. Of course, Zest, he did deny the natural base, and I really hope that this doesn't prompt Zest to go for a Twilight Council opening. Don't do it, puppy.
Yeah, it just has not really worked out for him. I suppose it will hit a little bit quicker here on Blackburn, but Solar, he's already used to defending against the Adepts once. He knows how to defend against it twice. Now, you're worried about Zest being prompted into getting the Twilight Council light. I'm worried that Solar's going to be prompted to get that gold base.
That's okay with me. I'm okay with that.
Well, I'm okay with that if he gets it as a 4th. I feel like he does need to connect the main base to the 3rd base with the natural base.
Yeah. Imagine if Solar does take the gold and then Zest does go for Glaive Adepts. Like Solar would just have a nightmare of a time trying to defend.
No, so Nightmare already got knocked out.
Yeah, by Zest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a nightmare of a time.
I got what you're saying.
Oh god, but thankfully Zest is going for a Stargate. We talk about this all the time on Blackburn. The rush distance by air is quite small, so you know we can go for some very fast oracles going across the map to deal some damage. We'll see if Zest does commit to a double Stargate. I kind of hope so. We may see another Queen push, but yo, if you can defend on Beckett Industries, you can defend on Blackburn.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on that one. Thinking back, I think that he definitely needed to get the early damage that he did with the Oracles when it came to Beckett Industries. So we'll see if Zest can get away with it once again. Is opening up with the Oracle.
That he is. Meanwhile, Solar, he is attempting to connect his bases with his creep. I love it, as they are prioritizing the creep instead of the injects for now. And
that's such a relief.
Yeah, and you look at this, we even have a Spore in the main. Ah, beautiful.
Solar, he's learned. This is why we call him the brightest of pro gamers. He can adapt right at the flip of a switch.
He can, and now the Oracle is trying to find some damage here. To be fair, there are no Spores here in the 3rd or in the natural, if you will. Gets 2 workers.
Yeah, not too bad. He keeps the Oracle alive. Gonna be unable to take as many risks with it, but the 2nd Oracle will be meeting up to support that. 2 Stargates now down. Where's the Fleet Beacon?
Where's the Fleet Beacon, mate? Where is it? There it is!
There it is!
Mate. People in the chat must be wondering, wait, why was Light focusing on that spot? Because a Fleet Beacon was coming down. This is the exact same build Zest did on Beckett Industries. Oh my god.
But will it work out as well for him? Already some decent damage, economic damage Zest is dealing here. But not quite as massive as Beckett Industries. Not quite to the point where Solar was forced to go all in with his Lings and his Roaches and his Queens.
True. I mean, Solar may do that anyway because he's up against Skytos. But you're correct in saying that Solar hasn't sustained as many losses as he did on Beckett Industries. So this is looking a little bit better for Solar here in Game 3 compared to Game 1.
Definitely is. Again, a little bit of damage, a little bit of scouting being dealt here. Zest will confirm the Roach Warren coming out from Solar. He knows that it's going to be a very similar composition to Beckett Industries.
Yes, and we'll see if it's going to be a similar result. Of course, this time Solar, his economy is looking a little bit better. He is lacking a little bit in... Oh, no, never mind. He has a decent amount of queens. He does have 6 queens. Not bad at all. But I imagine we're going to see Solar, as you said, go for another push. We'll see how good the defenses are going to be here for Zest, as he is attempting to take a 3rd base.
Which is not the most defensible location right now for Protoss, but still should definitely be fine for Zest. He knows that Solar is looking to push anytime soon.
Yeah, and ooh.
Not without Roaches, at least.
Yeah, and I love this. I love this so much more from Solar. Solar, he is going straight to Hydras. Problem is, Hydrogen isn't done yet, and here come the carriers.
Already making their way across the map. This Overseer is in for a very rude awakening.
God,
the Lynx trying to get whatever they can get done across the map as well. But the Adepts are going to put a very quick end to that.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the creep is being denied here. This is the first inkling that Solar has of the carriers. He wasn't really fully certain of what was coming his way. Oh, the queens are being focused down, but the Solar transfuse, but that was last transfuse.
It very much was. Not a lot threatening the interceptors here in the sky. There's not too much of them, but the actual speed of attack here of queens is so low.
Exactly, and again, no energy anymore, so all these queens will slowly fall. Hydras are on the way. At the same time, we have a Ling run by, but oh, there's plenty to defend. These Lings do nothing. And now the Hydras are coming out, but they are trickling out, and these carriers were on top of the production. Thankfully, though, the interceptors were finally thinned out.
Yeah, only one of them available for either carrier at the moment, and it takes quite some time to build up the intercept count.
That it does. So Zest is forced back, and now we see a mass Hydra force being amassed by Solar. It looks like he isn't going to hit anytime soon, as we do have an Evo chamber on the way, so he's going to want to work on that +1 missile attack, and then I imagine hit later on. But this is scary because he's going to give Zest a lot of time.
A lot of time to get more carriers, or no, wait, he's actually getting more Void Rays?
Yeah, interesting. Zest did see the Hydras. The Void Rays would be a nice response against Corruptors, but because he saw the Hydras, I'm surprised he didn't switch into some form of AoE. Like, he's trying to switch into Zealots, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, he still has the Twilight Council on the way.
Very late coming up from him. Yeah, I mean, maybe he's gonna get a Templar Archives and go into Storm, but yeah, he has a very limited form of splash damage right now.
Yeah.
No easy answer to all these Hydras.
Exactly, like his AoE, his splash damage is just so far away. Like, it's gonna take so long to get it with whatever it is, whether it's gonna be Storm or Archon, and there it is, there's a Templar Archive. He wants to go for Storm, but the Hydras, they're already here.
They are already reaching the other side of the map. The Void Ray will scout this. There are only 2 carriers at the moment.
Yeah.
Filled with interceptors, but 2 carriers nonetheless. Does not take much for Solar's target fired him down.
Exactly, and it looks like Zest is going to give up his 4th base. To be fair, it does buy a little bit of time. He should get a cancel! Kill! Oh no.
Oh no. Zest falling apart a little bit here in this series. Getting some very major deja vu.
Yeah, exactly. Like, honestly, Zest has played this out so well. Other than that loss there on the 4th base. Like, oh god, that was really rough. Now here comes Ling Bane.
Rest of the carriers, or should I say rest of the carrier, does meet with the main army, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Hydras start to get such a good concave. Archon being morphed in now, but it still feels like it's way too little, way too late.
We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of stack defense here, a lot of shield batteries, a lot of cannons. Honestly, Zest is trading pretty well so far, and the Hydra cannon is being thinned out, but oh my god, maybe there's just too many Hydras.
It's very possible. One of the carriers already went down, and the rest of them are out of Interceptor's light.
Oh my god, that they are. Only 2 Void Rays left here, but honestly, there's not that many Hydras. They are trickling in. I mean, Solar, he's got that massive reinforcement line coming across the map, and it looks like he may just barely have enough to break Zest.
Just about. Zest had 2 or maybe 3 more carriers. Would have been a very different story, but for some reason, anticipating Corruptors made Void Rays instead.
Yeah, to be fair, the Void Rays are doing pretty well. I do think maybe the mistake was investing in that AoE, and GG gets called. Solar takes game number 3.
All the way to match point.
Yeah. Like Zest, he was working on the Twilight Council, working on the Temple Archives. He never had a chance to get out any Archons or any Storms. If you prioritize that a little bit sooner, or maybe instead of prioritizing it, going for something else, just pure units, maybe he would have had a better chance. One or the other, regardless, well done there by Solar, hitting a beautiful timing.
Yeah, very much switching things up as well from what we come to expect from Solar. We know him a lot for his Queen Rushes, his Roach Ravager sort of stuff. Now, once again, just adapting to the meta.
Exactly.
For Hydra pushes instead.
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, it was really nicely done. He hit a little bit early, like he started his push a little bit early, but halfway through, that's when +1 kicked in, as well as the rest of the Hydra upgrades. That was very nicely done there, really catching Zest a little bit off guard. Also, even though Zest had like, I think 3 stasis wards, they really didn't get much. Like each stasis ward got like a handful of lings here and there, like wasn't able to catch any of the Hydras. And if he did, then that would have changed everything, right? We saw how close that hold was.
This is why you don't spread creep, because if you do, Hydras would have been right behind the Lings. Would have caught the stasis ward as well. Without creep, the Lings just rocket on forward.
Yeah, exactly. Boy. GG, well played. We're currently waiting. It looks like Solo did ask for a small break, so we're waiting for him to return. Then hopefully he can switch a couple of these players around. Meanwhile, shout out to Sounder in the chat. Welcome. Yes, there were many signups today. And Yaku, why don't you tell the people why?
ESL Asia, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I mean, why? It's like I guess a lot of players were like around today and they want to actually sign up. I mean, it's not just we have about the same amount of Koreans who signed up, but I mean we have a lot of we also have a lot of Chinese players, American players, Taiwanese players coming in. But my theory is because of the completely revamped, and I say completely revamped, but it's more like an updated, the updated prize distribution system upgrade. Yeah, it's an update and an upgrade. Well, I guess an upgrade is generally like that implies an update.
Upscale?
Upscale? Yeah.
Upsize?
Yeah.
You okay?
Look, more players thought they had a chance to make a payout because the top 8 get paid out now. That's why I had a lot more players sign up. As we continue our best of 5 semifinals here, potentially the final map of the semifinals, 2000's Atmosphere. Did not have a song in mind. It's a little unfortunate. Here in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. The Red Zerg player coming out for South Korea. He is representing KZ Gaming. KZG. He is Sola. On match point.
You got the touch.
I think it was before 2000, so.
It was. It's spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE. We have the South Korean Protoss, the blue Protoss representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. It is Zest.
Now we're back in 2000's Atmosphere Light, so we're seeing every new map. So I have to say that I really think Romanticide was the veto.
Yeah, at least one of them. The other one may have been Lightshade. That would make sense.
Maybe. I think it might also be Oxide.
It's true. Those are the only maps that we haven't seen quite yet. I guess it would make sense for someone like Zest to veto Lightshade just because of the rush distance.
True.
But he left Blackburn, I guess because of the rush distance by air though. So yeah, it makes sense. It's all coming together. But yeah, interesting. I can't wait to see. In my mind, I hope we go all the way to the ace match.
Exactly. In my mind though, like I'm seeing Tempest. Just because we're in 2000's Atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah. We could see it. We definitely could see it here. We'll see if Zest decides to go for that. I see a couple people in the chat, Mass Hydra greater than Skytoss. This is true if you don't have any splash damage, any AoE, which Zest did not have. Oh boy.
Yeah, and a little bit earlier this time, Zest.
So, is that where your money is, Yaku? Are we going to see Tempest?
How much money?
Figurative money, because I know you. Like, I know you're a student, okay?
Yeah.
Oh god.
I can't do too much of it there. I mean, like, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of want to see the Tempest, and I want to see the Tempest succeed more than anything else, but I imagine Zest is kind of given up on it by now, right? He's going for oracles once again, which
Yeah.
isn't indicative of much. It's very likely he's going to go for a double Stargate fleet beacon once again, but we'll see.
Yeah, what I will say is I do think the double Stargate Fleet Beacon has a much higher success chance on 2000 atmospheres just because the rush distance is longer, right? You know, it's really interesting to me that Zest decided to do that build on Beckett Industries and Blackburn. Like, that's interesting, right? It's like, okay, you know, really risky, right? Short rush distance. We got to see that come into play with Solar hitting hard with ground-focused armies. On a map like this, I think Zest would have a little bit more success.
Yeah, it definitely does have a bit of a longer rush distance than those maps. Not anywhere near as insane as something like Romanticide. But still, very much more of a macro and economic focus kind of map. This is where Stargate really thrives, so you can comfortably get up to about 3 or 4 bases. Zest is doing it light.
Oh yeah, triple Stargate, triple Oracle opening. It's been a while, but you know, this has kind of become a little bit more popular recently. We have seen a lot more Protoss players whip it out, and yeah, it's really interesting. Obviously, it means that you can be aggressive with 2 Oracles. You can also use your Oracles to defend against things like this, Ling Runbys.
Just like so. That's really looking to carry on the stats torch.
Yeah, Zest, he's stepping up right now, and here we go. The Adepts are headed towards one of the bases, and they're going to meet up with those Oracles. Oh, never mind. Doesn't commit.
Yeah, well, they do meet up with the Oracles, so funnily enough.
True. Ooh, and Zest, he's completely switching gears. He is going for a more ground-focused army.
Okay, I'm liking this a lot.
Are you feeling Blink Stalkers?
Not really, if I'm being honest here, Light, just because he is going to Twilight Council. I feel like he might get Blink eventually just to round off his army, but I feel in charge first.
Ooh, there we go.
It's
Blinks. And the reason why I said that is because if you remember, when stats went for triple Oracle, it was to go into +1 Blink Stalkers. This is straight up the stats build from last year. And I mean, it worked very well last year in last year's meta. We'll see how it does here. Again, a lot more old school, but what it does really well against is more Roach Ravager heavy compositions.
Which incidentally is exactly what Soul is building towards. And sure, it is a bit of an older strategy, a bit of a outdated tactic, but that's also why it's gonna catch Solar so off guard.
Yeah, we'll see, because Solar is going for that Queen Roach Ravager push. Again, maybe expecting double Stargate again. After seeing 3 Oracles, I don't blame him, right? He's going to be coming in. Oh god, Zest, he's not fully set up yet at his 3rd base. We have a lot of shield batteries on the way though.
Yeah, he just needs to buy himself a couple more seconds for them to finish up. He has so many Oracles, like, he's continuing to make Oracles.
Yeah, exactly, and oh my god, the Lings are coming in. They're going to get a wraparound on the sentries.
Oracles! Please!
Help, puppy! Help! They need your
help! The force
help!
fields are good, but they need more than that!
Oh god, the Lings are coming in. There's barely anything here for Zest to defend. Oh my god, here come the Ravagers. They're gonna bile down that pylon. Here come the Oracles though. They're gonna help out clean up all these Lings, and now the Ravagers.
Finally.
Ooh.
Yeah, unfortunately the Ravagers will get their biles on, and actually doesn't depower anything. The backup pylon was just enough to hold here. Solar losing his entire army.
That was a beautiful defense. And something that I noticed as GG gets called and we are going to the ace match, I love what Zest did. When he saw the attack coming, he canceled Blink and he canceled +1 attack. Just so he had those resources to warp in as much as he could.
Warp in as much as he could. Get maybe a couple more
shield batteries,
Shield batteries. Defensively, you don't necessarily need Blink for stalkers as well.
Yeah. I was again, I was gonna point it out, but like again, like it was really cool to see. It was really cool to see him.
Did they start already? Oh, okay.
We'll see. As I'm trying to.
They remade.
Okay. Hold on. I'll be there shortly.
Yep. Where are you at? We get you in. There you are. Where's Pig at? Pig is still in the other lobby, potentially?
Yeah, he's in the old one. He's in the old one.
Oh, no.
take place.
Yeah, that old lobby bug.
Oh god. All right. So we are diving in here, and yeah, it was just really cool to see Zest adapt to the current situation and get ready for what was coming. That was a beautiful defense there, and this is it. Best case scenario, ace match.
On Oxide.
Yeah. It was a light shade and romanticized DeVito. Made a lot of sense, and now,
DeVito?
yeah, DeVito, yeah.
Teddy?
What?
As we conclude our
Goddamn.
best of 5 semifinals here on Oxide LE, we're in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the Red Zug player coming down from the land of South Korea. He is going to be representing KZ Gaming once again. KZG, the brightest, but his light may be snuffed out here. He is Sola.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is blue, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. It is Zest.
I gotta tell you, Light, I was very worried that our ace match was gonna be on Oxide here. Until I remembered that Solar was playing.
Yeah.
Oxide, yeah.
Go on.
Oxide, of course, a map that has been known to produce many split map scenarios in PvZ. So many times where, we have both players taking both map up, taking their bases, swing the map in half, and just unable to really make any strides until the very end, when both players just mine out every single mineral. Solar, however, not a fan of those scenarios. He will try his darndest to end the game early.
Definitely. I 100% am on your wavelength there. I was thinking the exact same thing, that normally Oxide does produce a lot of long games, which I think would favor Zest, which is why, Solar, he's going to try and stop it beforehand. As the stream, as we have all seen, Solar, he'll go for Roach Ravager Queen pushes, he'll go for Hydra timings, he will do whatever he can to try and end the game. Whether he wins or loses, it's going to be over in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe it'll last a little bit longer. And that's why we were able to catch up with the lower semifinals, as they're still going on.
They're still going on, yeah.
Oh god. Any updates would be appreciated, by the way, in the chats.
I believe they're in game 4 or something.
You're they're in game 3. they're tied up. Oh god. But yeah, as a result, we'll see what Solar has in store for us. He can sometimes also be a little bit stubborn, but he does need to react to what he scouts, because again, last game he didn't scout anything. He blindly went for that Roach Ravager Queen push, assuming that it was double Stargate,
which it wasn't. But when you see 3 oracles out like that, you're assuming the Protoss player is going to be dedicated to Stargate play. Again, really a testament to how effective that build that Sats went for last year can be, and I guess also more of just how the meta has evolved, right? This was a year ago. You think, all right, my opponent's switching into more of a ground-based army, whether it be Blink Stalkers or Chargelets. In this current meta, not so much. It's at the complete back of your mind.
And I'm worried right now, because honestly, Oxide is there's a reason why we see a lot of long games here, because it's pretty easy to defend your natural and even your third. At your natural, mate, you got a ramp, you got the high ground, right? At your third, sure, maybe a push comes in through the center, but you also have high ground here as well, if the push does come through the center. Otherwise, over here, there's a choke point. It's so much easier to defend on 3 bases. It's really risky for Solar to try and go for an all-in, but it's totally possible that he pulls it off, right? But it's just that much harder.
Absolutely is. Solar's going to have to find the slimmest of gaps in Zest's armor and try to work from there, but I don't think he's going to be able... I don't think Zest is going to be revealing them too often. He's rallying Light. He's rallying the Stargate once again.
Yeah. Oh, he cancels. Interesting. He had a 3rd Oracle lined up, but he does cancel in the end, only committing to 2 Oracles for now.
Yeah, part of me has to wonder if that's because he realized he was going to be supply capped for quite some time and didn't really want to, and decided that it's probably better to focus on his macro instead in this time, but we'll see. He is, once again, transitioning to a gateway army.
Yeah, definitely. And Solar should realize this because, again, he has vision right now with the first Stargate. To be fair, in previous times, we have seen like a Stargate and a Fleet Beacon, and you leave this inactive until the Fleet Beacon finishes. So Solar still needs to go in to confirm. So yeah, I'm a little bit concerned for him. At some point, he needs to dive in with his Overlord.
Well, he's still considering it, Light. Still considering that. You see one Stargate, it ain't going to be the only one. Roach Warren is being produced.
And just like the previous game, almost just like the previous game, like this time Zest didn't commit to 3 Oracles because of that supply block, but he is going for that Blink Stalker and +1.
Gets it a little bit earlier, I should say.
True.
Thanks to those additional resources. Will be... Potentially, he'll have a better defense. We'll see if Solar ends up going for it. He knows it's not going to be double Stargate anymore.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how this goes out. I mean, again, Solar, he has a lot of scouting information, and honestly, he can breathe easy. He sees, hey, you don't have a lot of Stargates? I can actually play a longer game. I just don't like playing against SkyToss.
Well.
Yeah. He's running up.
It's not the long game I hate, it's just SkyToss.
Also, I did want to touch on something as ARJ Skater is saying that Parting took the center base on Blackburn. He's honestly been doing that a fair amount. He did that last week in ESL Open Cup as well, where he gets a Warp Prism. He maybe like warps in a little bit in the middle, and then he ends up taking that Nexus.
He's the only player who does that too.
He's the only one we've noticed. Yeah. And honestly, when we casted that, he still lost. I think it was against Dongray Gu. I can't remember who he was up against last week.
I believe it was, yeah.
Yeah. And DRG, he went for Lurkers, and the Lurkers actually sieged on that Nexus space from the low ground. It was not. It was not pretty. Oof.
Not pretty whatsoever. One Oracle will go down. Decent pickup here for Solar. Just a slightly less to worry about. He's setting up for the push once again here, Light, but it's not going to be anything too massive. It's just opening up his opportunities. He is going for the Spire, and we'll see what he gets done with it. Maybe using these Mutas more as a harassment force. He does not want to fight Blink Stalkers with those.
I was about to say, I'm a little bit concerned because I remember when Darkness did this in Latin America, when he went for the Blink Stalker build with +1, it was directly to counter Jim Rising's style of going Mutas in ZVP, because again, you have a decent amount of anti-air. So I'm a little bit concerned. We'll see if Solar can pull it off because he has a lot of Mutas. We'll see if they go across the map to try and harass, because this is a very scary Protoss army.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best use of them for now. Charge is still a ways off, but Zest getting rid of a couple of these Zealots will pick off this 4th base. We all the Mutas Solar making him way.
Yeah, and there's nothing at home. Defended. Zest did not scout the Spire whatsoever. He's gonna be for a recall.
Wow, it doesn't even warp in over here, but I guess suppose it does make sense. Zest is happy with the damage he got done. He killed that 4th base.
True. And it looks like these Mutas are still going to find a little bit more damage here. 7 probes. It isn't game-ending damage, but what's important is that he was able to pull Zest back. I do 100% think if Zest stayed, he probably would have been able to demolish this army. Like really. So Solar, he bought a lot of time.
Definitely. That said, Zest still very much has the advantage right now. I'm going to go up to +2 weapons very, very soon. Charge is going to be finishing up. Zest really rounding up his army here.
Definitely. Alongside, Chargelots, Archons are most likely going to be on the way as well. Things are getting kind of scary. And yo, look at Zest, beautifully spread between his bases. Snipes another Muta.
Might as well.
Ooh, and now Solar is looking to push in. Zest doesn't see this army. Oh, now he does.
Yeah, now he will.
Oh, God.
And a couple of these vials are actually being used on the rocks right now. Not going to be too useful against the force fields. Zest still has to be very, very careful. This is a massive Roach Ravager army that's looking to surround the army of Zest.
That he is. Again, this is a really awkward position to push in because, again, Zest, he's on 2 different high grounds at once. Solar, he's committing to push into the natural.
There's a good sandwich. Zest, he just needs to pull the trigger. Meanwhile, Solar's just getting more and more infrastructure damage over here. If he can take out the Cybercore, that is going to be huge. But he does not want to lose his army. This is everything he's got.
Exactly, and Solar's getting surrounded. I don't know if this is the right move here. He's starting to lose a couple of his Ravagers. Biles do go down, do get one Stalker, which is great, but Solar lost a lot of steam. He turns around.
Yeah, he cannot stay here at all. He gets set up for his follow-up push. He's still going for a light.
Yeah, he's committed.
Just trying to end the game. He does not want this to go on for too much longer. Zest, now he pulls the trigger, completely sandwiches Solar's army.
Oh god, that he does. And this is a very dangerous situation for Solar to be in. Meanwhile, we do have a couple of reinforcements, so Zest himself has to be careful. Oh my god, I can't believe that Cybercore is still alive, by the way.
It's so low. Whoa! So we get the devil.
Finally does get picked off, but here we go. Zest, he's looking to try and pounce on this army, aggressively blinks forward. He may lose his sentries, but he will clean up this Roach Ravager.
Completely wipes this out. He loses one Archon, but he still has his Warp Prism alive. He is pressing the advantage hard here, like pushing all the way across the map. He has most of his gateway units up. And sure, he doesn't have the Cybercore. Oh, actually, I think he made it somewhere. No, he still doesn't. Never mind.
He doesn't.
But it doesn't really matter. He has Charge. He has the Temple Archives. Charge and Archon is still a very potent unit composition against Roach Ravager Ling.
I think Zest, he's taking too much time here. Like, once again, I think he could probably push into creep and take a really good fight. Instead, he wants to secure this. He takes he takes a fourth base instead. He backs off. Instead, only decides to harass with Archons. He is giving Solar a big opportunity here. But to be fair, Solar, because of his macro mate, he's already maxed out.
It is yeah. And that is a very massive Lingbane Roach Ravager army, but not the most efficient one.
Exactly.
Upgrades aren't quite there, only now finishing up +1. And I mean, whenever you're going for Roach Ravager, you have to consider how inefficient the supply is.
Exactly. And oh my god, the Immortals are a little bit exposed here. Okay, they do back off. Zealots do come in to help reinforce this army. I was about to say that Zest, this fourth base, is going to be a lot harder to defend. Like, there's no shield batteries, there's no stack defense whatsoever set up here.
But does that matter if you have an army?
We'll find out.
Does. Yeah. We are about to find out right now. Zest having a slightly better concave, eats a ton of Biles. But the Roach Ravager is getting super thinned out. The Archons are getting the splash damage on. The Immortals are really cleaning up the Roaches. And the Stalkers just chase down any stragglers. It is very hard to see Solar succeed from here.
Solar keeps pushing in, and Zest just keeps slamming him to the ground, mate. Oh my god, there are just so many Immortals, so many Archons. GG gets called.
Zest is going to be a first finalist of ESL Open Cup Asia, number 72. Who is going to face him, though?
That's the question. GG, well played. And again, we were talking about how defensive Oxide is, right? Trying to push, especially when you push through the center and try to go up 2 ramps at once. It's just, you just have such a massive defender's advantage there. And we saw Zest just take full advantage of that. Taking his time, you know, only pushing down when necessary, always having that high ground advantage and just crushing Solar.
And we just got updated here. It seems like we are going to have another PvZ for our grand finals. It is going to be Zest versus Dark.